Okay, so for discovery and CMDB, what we have to do for discovery, we need a paid plugin. Okay, so before starting, please stop me if you have any doubts. Okay, please stop me. So let's discover discovery first. Why we are using discovery? In right now in IT industry, most of the company is going for discovery. Okay, because discovery automate the process among them, and it will sit under the CMDB underscore CI. Okay, so there's a paid plugin. If you I have just enabled discovery plugin over here. So you can see here discovery plugin. I have enabled it. So this is a paid plugin, it will be enabled by default. If your client is asking to use a discovery, then you have to inform them first, because this is the paid plugin. ServiceNow will charge extra for this. Okay, so if you are using incident ITSM process, that will come under the your instance. But if they are going to use a discovery, then ServiceNow will charge extra money for this. Okay, so that's why it is called a paid plugin. You can activate via high ticket, or if you are having a high account, then you can go and you can activate from there. Okay, and before activating, you have to inform to ServiceNow client. Okay, so for discovery setup, this is like a huge configuration we have to do, because we need an environment. In the training, we will create in local environment. I will show you how discovery work, how we can configure a meet server, how we can configure our credentials, and how discovery logs, everything we will check step by steps. Okay, so here you can see, as for overview, I can see here. So here is the credentials. Here we can enter our credentials as many we want, but for the different devices, we are having a different credentials. Okay, so suppose that Linux device, we have to enter the Linux credentials. For SNMP device, we have to enter the SNMP credentials. So don't worry about the credentials. Your client will provide you the credentials. Okay, so but in the very beginning, you have to ask them, that means what kind of device they are having and what kind of device they are going to have in CMDB, because ServiceNow will charge as per the device. Okay, so how many devices? Suppose that if they are going for the contract, okay, thousands of network device they want to get discovered. If it is increasing the amount more than thousands, then ServiceNow will charge the penalty for that. So make sure, if they have a contract of thousands of network device, you are not exceeding the amount of network devices. If it is increasing, just you have responsibility to tell to your client, okay, so we have contract with the thousands of device only, we are going increasing the device. So ServiceNow will may charge a penalty for this. Okay, so all the credential you will get it from your client, and they will provide, once they will provide you, you just click on the new button, and you have to, here is the different types of credentials. For Windows device, we have a Windows credentials. For JDBC, we have a JDBC. For SSH means Linux, we have Linux. For SNMP, we have means every type of credentials we are having. If they are having, your client is having AWS devices, then you have to enter the AWS credentials. Okay, so we will see in details once we will go in subsequent class. Okay, so here is the meet server. So here we have to configure your meet server. Means it depends, like this is a common question generally asked by the client, that means how many meet server we can install in our environment. So your for answer for this question would be, like, it depends upon your device, how many devices you are going to discover. Suppose that in ideal conditions, as per the ServiceNow best practice says, if at one data center they are having more than 10,000 devices, then we can split into two. Means for every 10,000 CI, we should have one mid server. I'm talking about only one data center. Data center means a location, particular location. So every company, suppose that one company having a location for India and one USA. So there would be two data centers, one for India and one for USA. So for suppose that in India they are having a more than 10,000 devices or some more than lakhs devices. So we have to tell them, okay, we are going to install many mid server. So as per the 10,000 devices, we are going to install the mid server. Okay, there would be a process how we have to install the mid server. So we will see in the subsequent class how we can make it validate, how we can right now you can see here a status is down because I have not run the mid server.
So I have one question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so is there any limit of using a one mid server to the devices? Is there any limitation,
No,
or
there
for
is
the
no
performance
limitation.
purpose we are dividing it?
Yeah, for the performance purpose we are dividing it. Okay, so there is
So,
no limitation. So if
okay,
you
and
are having like,
one more.
yeah,
Okay, okay, please go ahead. I will ask again.
so if you are having a 15K devices, so you can manage with the one mid server, no issue on that. So
Okay, okay.
if
And
it is
another
increasing,
one.
like if it is rapidly increasing, then you have to tell them, okay, so it's better to split this in the two mid server. It will not cost you, right? It's a free,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
open.
yeah. It's a service.
Yeah,
Thing I want to
yeah,
know
please go ahead.
that the suppose we are discovering the Windows CIs and all, then window administrators are responsible for sharing their credentials, and Linux administrators they will share. Am I right?
Yes, you are right, absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
that is not your job. You have to ask. That means whoever would be your stakeholder, you have to ask them. I need this type of credentials because I got a requirement from. That means we are going to discover Windows, Linux, SSH, SNMP device. So we need every type of credential, and that credential will be the master one. Okay, because we are not asking for each and every laptop credentials. So one credentials master key would be there. If they are providing you, that will be enough.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So here you can check the status. That means every time we are running a discovery, so it will give you the status. That means when you want to run it, when discovery will run, then it will show you. That means we have started with one. Yeah, it is still in active state. It will give you the logs. Okay. Here ECCQ logs. Here all the things we will check it. That means suppose that while doing a discovery, we might be getting some error like a Windows credentials error. The credentials your client has provided, that is not valid, that is not working. So how we will troubleshoot that? So that is the very important because this is totally related to network. Okay, and we are developers, so that much knowledge we don't have related to network. So what we will do, we will check from here. ServiceNow gives us functionality to check whether they have given the credential, that credential is valid or not on that particular IP. So that way we can check it, and if it is not valid, then we can tell them, okay, so while checking from ServiceNow and we got this error or this error message, warning message that credential is not valid, please check it from your end. Okay, sometimes what will happen, sometimes because we are breaking the network, ServiceNow breaks the network and then discover the data. So sometimes it will be the firewall issue. So you have to, every time you have to contact with your network team. Okay, so don't worry, while doing a discovery, they will provide you a network team also, so they can help you out on every query. Okay, but in ECCQ, here is the place where we can check what kind of input we are passing to the network and what kind of input in a result we are getting from the network. Okay, so suppose that you have fired one we have run the discovery and it got the, that means Windows, we found a Windows defined on particular network. Okay, so what information you have fired to get those devices? So here it will see in the ECCQ. Let me check another one, maybe I'm having some. Okay, so this, I don't think so. There is no data, otherwise I could have shown you. That means what kind of that means once you will run the discovery, it will give us, that means what information we are passing to the network, and as a result what information we are getting from the network. So in the logs, what we will check, we will check, see, as you can see here, discovery started and we are getting it got cancelled also. So every kind of information discovery will log over here. So suppose that they have credentials issue, they have given the right credentials, so credentials issue got fine. So while discovering a network device, we might need some other kind of software to be installed on that particular machine. Suppose that we are discovering a SQL server, then we must have installed a .NET 4.5 and 3.5 above. If it is not installed on that particular machine, then SQL will not get discovered. So these are the prerequisites we will discuss in details in subsequent class. Okay, I hope you can understand as of now. Any query or any doubts?
No, I don't have.
So here you can check the running process when the discovery will run, and the main important thing, we have to schedule it because everyone wants to do the scheduling. So everyone, like in weekend, and some clients want in daily basis, some client want in weekly basis. Is totally upon your client requirement. If they want to get discover device every day, then you have to write a schedule. You have to create a schedule for that devices. Okay. So here it will give you the way to create discovery schedule. You just give the name. This is for which um, item you are going to discover, what kind of a discovery you want to do, which meet server, what kind of, these all things we will discuss in the details. A specific meet server, then you have to select the meet server. So right now I have one meet server, so I have selected. For which location, I was talking about the data center. If you are specifying this schedule only work for particular data center, then we can select over here. If you are allowing this schedule to be get discovered by all the location, all the data center, then leave it blank. It will discover. Just give the days, hour when we want to run it, weekly, daily, monthly. Means this will give you the way to do that. Okay. So once it will, suppose that we have run the discovery successful. Here one more thing, here it will give you the quick discovery. You can just type your target URL or IP address and give the meet server and just click on the OK button. It will get discovered. Okay, without, that means if you want to check, that means some problem you have found during the discovery schedule, then you can check one by one IP. Okay. Okay, so fine. So now this is your discovery. There are many things which need to be discussed. Once we will discuss, definitely we will discuss in subsequent class, like how discovery behavior will work, how we can customize our data, how do we clean up CI. That means how do we should not get um, like a junk CI, because there are many things. There would be an network device, right? So in the network there are many things a client doesn't want to get discovered and doesn't want to maintain as a CI in CMDB. Okay, so there are many things we can do the configuration in discovery, but when you will come to CMDB, here we have a CMDB. Here we can, I can give you the overview how we can check the things. So here I have just clicked on the CI class manager. Here we can see all the classes, out of box classes managed by ServiceNow. Okay, here we can check the hierarchy. Here all you will get the how they have configured to each other. As you can see here, this is the base class. CMDB underscore CI is the base class of the configuration item. As you can see, if I will close it, then all class I'm talking about classes means nothing but a table, don't get confused. Okay, class means here table. So this is the base class, very, that means you can say this is the parent, overall parent class. Under this base class we have designed different classes, because while doing a discovery, discovery will push the data as per the classes. Suppose that discovery found a Windows device, then they will not push in any other classes, they will find the Windows uh, class and they will push a data over there. So Windows class falls under the hardware. Okay, so hardware, you can see here the computer and laptop. This is the I have created, because this was the just a demo purpose I have created, so you will not get the laptop, but definitely you will get a computer. So here under the computer they will store the Windows devices. Okay, so this is the personal computer, as you can see here. If you want to check the details, just click on the personal computer. Here it will give you other details. That means this is the table name, CMDB CI underscore PC underscore hardware. This is the internal table name. This is the display name, you will get it. What are the columns are there? So here you can check the all the columns by default. So one more thing I would like to say. So this is the not a parent class. So parent class is like a super base class, right? CMDB CI. So whatever the attribute we have inherited from the parent class, right? So whatever the attribute would be there in the parent class, that will get inherited in the child class also. As you know that this is the inheritance property. So these are the around 93 attributes are there. Definitely if it is false from the parent class, but it doesn't mean that means we can't add it as per the client requirement. If they want to store some different kind of information for the Windows machine, then definitely we have to create one extra attribute to store those values. Okay, how we can create and how where we can create and for which table we have to create, we will see in subsequent class. Here you can see the relationships also. That means how this table has related to each other. Okay, who is the parent class, who has inherited, and who this class who inherited by whom. So we will see in details in subsequent class. We can see the BSM map event. That means how data are interlinked to each other. Let me show you one data how it will show. This is the dummy data provided by ServiceNow. Yes, anybody have any questions?
Not yet.
So